Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Man, it's crazy today. It is so warm. It is extremely windy. We're talking 30-40 mile an hour winds. Very, very low humidity. I just checked. Fire index is, and I talked to a couple of people on our department that's been around a lot longer than I have on the department, many years, some of them. They've never seen it as high as it is right now. And for those of you that don't know what that means a tiny little spark or ember could really cause a lot of problems. So we're, as a department, on high alert. And I know that some of you are so sick and tired of hearing about all this emergency response team and community building and fire department. You're all convinced that I'm making millions of dollars working on a volunteer rural fire department because some of you think that's how things work. And for the rest of you that understand it, you know that that's absolutely not the case. But no, it's a crazy day when it comes to weather here. We're doing some medical training today, not for us, but for not for the emergency response team fire department / fire department. We're doing it for our just greater preparedness homesteading community, and I've been running back and forth. That's where I'm headed right now. But so it's been just a busy day for us. But I did see something in the news that's, while it's not surprising, it's not good. I know, it's doom and gloom, scare tactics. We're all gonna die. Well, eventually we will. It's, there's only two things guaranteed in life: death and taxes. U.S. military, the U.S. Army, has said that they're cutting their recruitment goals by 24,000 people. Now, already, and I know this for certain because a few weeks ago I was able to speak off record privately with a current 2-star general of the U.S. Army. He commands a particular military base, and was able to speak to him, again, off the record privately. So I'll have to remember that it's bad. Like, they're having to make major cuts around the country at bases. They're taking soldiers that are, for lack of better terms, they're the rear guys, the ones that are guarding gates, the ones that are taking trash out, the ones that are, working on maintenance and stuff, and they're trying to shift them more into combat roles because they don't have enough. They don't have enough at all. And he said the funding is so low that a lot of these roles that have been done by civilians, especially like guarding the gates, a lot of times they'll contract with civilian companies to do some of these things. They're cutting back in those areas too. And that the current levels of military personnel is the lowest, I believe, since World War II or before World War II. And now they're cutting it another 24,000 for the U.S. Army. All this is happening at the same time. If you've watched the last couple of videos of this increase in an increase in talk, okay? Because right now it's kind of what it is, talk of the potential for a greater involvement. I'm trying to use the best words because I'm not the best on the best words. I'm not a Donald Trump. I don't have the best words. We're talking about increased involvement in the European theater, the South Asian theater with Taiwan, the Middle Eastern theater, in other words, World War III. Because when these things pop off, that's probably what it's going to end up being. It's not going to be like when we went into Iraq years and years ago, or Afghanistan. It's going to be a big world war is what we're looking at. And so we've used a bunch of our weapons over in Ukraine, sending stuff over there. And I understand they're saying, yeah, but we're spending all this money to rebuild them. That's great. I know that that's just a great thing for the military-industrial complex, but it takes time to replace that. And that's part of the concern is that while we may be printing a bunch of fiat currency and giving it to the military-industrial complex to build all these new weapons that we've used up, it's going to take time, and it may take longer than expected because we need the stuff now, and potentially. And then we have very low recruitment numbers. We have very low overall numbers of personnel. None of this is a good scenario, folks. None of this is a good scenario. And then you see these reports that the vast majority of potentially eligible people for military service aren't really eligible because of physical fitness or mental, capacity. In other words, we got a bunch of fat, crazy people in this country now, and they can't go into the military. This has all been orchestrated for a purpose, folks. Not going to convince me anything otherwise. And here's I know the other option, which is being talked about already. Well, we have millions and millions of people coming across the country, into the border, across the border into the country. So let's just use them, right? I mean, that's been proposed already. Well, here's the problem with that. For many years now, folks like you and I have said, well, if things get really bad and they try to go all totalitarian on us, there's no way that our good men and women in uniform are going to, turn on us and fight against us. But now things are going to change. We're gonna replace our patriotic men and women that join the military traditionally, and I know this has changed lately in the last few years with a lot of woke liberals, but traditionally, the people that serve in uniform have been patriotic people. They do it because they want to, they understand, right? Now we're going to be replacing them potentially with people that have come here illegally and don't give two toots about the U.S. Constitution or your rights or America or anything like that. They're basically going to be like United Nations troops that are going to be officially U.S. troops. Now, this isn't a done deal, but the worse things get and the less that we get in recruitment, that's going to be the scenario. I mean, that's how it's going to... There's no other way. It's either that or release a bunch of robot soldiers or just, lay down and give up. They have to have troops. And then, of course, those troops can be turned on you and I. I know this is a very doomsday scenario, but yeah, this is a strong possibility. And when we start to see more and more come out about how recruitment is down, they're cutting numbers, troop numbers are down, all these kind of things, and then war is getting more and more serious and more likely, we have to understand that there's a strong possibility that this could happen. What do you do with all of these, 7, 10, 15 million illegals that's come across the border since Biden's been in office? And the many more that's going to happen just this year before potentially, maybe, he's out of office. And if someone worse gets into office, it's only going to get worse. What do you do with all of them? Oh, well, put a uniform on them. I know it's technically hypothetical. I get it. We don't know these things for certain. But I'd say that, like I said, that the more it builds to the point of, a big war potential and other things, bad things, and the more that they're coming across and the more that we don't know what to do with them, I think there's a stronger and stronger likelihood that that's the scenario we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing this scenario where the United States military very potentially be, in very large part even, filled by illegals that's come here that have no allegiances to the United States, no allegiances, no patriotic, belief and feeling towards U.S. citizens, the U.S. Constitution, our way of life, anything like that. And that's scary. That you can call me fear-mongering all you want, but that's scary. and it is actually being something that's openly spoken of in states. I mean, California, and I think was it New York, or not, maybe Chicago. There's a couple of areas that they're already putting badges and guns on these people. They're saying, oh, well, you can come and you can be a police officer here. Okay. Many of these people come from countries, most all of them. I mean, that's why they're coming here. They're coming from countries that have no rights, that their citizens have no rights. There's no inalienable right. And so, do you really think that putting them through boot camp or putting them through some police academy or something like that is going to ingrain in them, this proud patriotism towards freedom and individual rights in America? Of course not. It's all an orchestrated mess, and I believe it's being done to destroy us. I just, plain and simple, it's being done to destroy us. So you need to get ready for it, folks. And I know many of you disagree with me right now. I've been seeing the hate mail and the hate comments that I'm telling you, your better option is not to stick your head in the ground, or not to go bunker mentality and bury yourself and let the whole world die around you. Your better options are to work with the people around you, building relationships, getting to a place, living in a place, number one, that you can survive, working on your own self-sufficiency. That's kind of level 2 of prepping, homesteading is, in my opinion. And then that level 3, that final advanced level, is where you're working with others around you, your neighbors, people in your community, strengthening that community so that it doesn't fail. It's able to stand on its own. Yeah, it's going to hurt. It's gonna be a shock. But the stronger that community is, the less likely it's going to collapse. There is historical references to that. There is historical examples of that happening. But you need to get your houses in order regardless. You need to be preparing regularly. I talk more about this kind of stuff and the things that we can do over on my locals channel. There's a link in the description below that I would encourage you, if you're interested in joining up. There's a $3 a month membership, and I think it's well worth it. Get your houses in order, folks, and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.